Asterisk asterisk. The great alien hall was cold and silent. The tall window showed the black sky of space. Soldiers stood like statues. The alien king sat on his throne, wearing a long dark robe. His red eyes were sharp like knives. In front of him stood a human commander. R'lyn, a brave man from Earth. He had come to stop a war between humans and the Zalari Empire. He had no weapons, only words. "We do not want war," R'lyn said calmly. "We want peace between your people and ours." The alien king laughed. It was a cruel, empty sound. "Peace?" he said. "Then take this as a gift from us." He snapped his fingers. A door opened behind him. A small girl was pushed forward by two guards. She looked very thin and weak. Her skin was pale blue. Her arms were shaking. Her head stayed low. She was maybe 12 years old in human years, but something in her eyes looked much older. "She is my daughter," the king said. "But she is broken, useless, a burden to my empire. She can be your problem now." R'lyn looked at the girl. Her clothes were torn. There was a metal collar on her neck. She said nothing. She didn't even cry. The guards threw her at R'lyn's feet like garbage. "Why?" R'lyn asked, shocked. "She is soft. She shows emotions." "She is not like us," the king said with disgust. "She is not fit to rule. Take her, or leave with nothing." R'lyn knelt beside the girl. She didn't move. But when he touched her shoulder gently, she looked up at him. Her eyes were bright silver. And in that moment, he saw something. Not fear, not weakness, something hidden. Something powerful. He stood up slowly. "I'll take her." The alien king smiled cruelly. "Good. Enjoy your gift." Back on the human ship, the crew was confused and angry. "Why did you bring her?" shouted one officer. "She's alien." "She could be a spy," another said. "We should lock her up." "She's just a child," R'lyn replied. But even he wasn't sure why he had taken her. The girl didn't speak. She only sat quietly in a corner of the ship, holding her knees. She watched everything, listened to everyone. Her eyes moved fast, but her lips stayed closed. They gave her food. She didn't eat for 2 days. On the 3rd day, something strange happened. The ship's lights started flickering. Then alarms rang. The engines were failing. System overload. Someone shouted, "We're going to crash." Suddenly, the girl stood up. She walked calmly to the control room. No one stopped her. They were too shocked. She touched a panel on the wall. The lights flickered again. And then everything went back to normal. Everyone stared at her. "She fixed it?" The engineer whispered. "But how?" said the pilot. "She's never seen human tech before." The girl looked at them, then sat down on the floor. Still silent. Commander R'lyn knelt in front of her. "Who are you?" he asked gently. She opened her mouth for the first time. Her voice was soft, broken. "They said I was wrong," she whispered. "But I see how things work. Machines, energy, people." R'lyn's eyes widened. "You understand more than we thought." She looked at him, eyes full of pain. "My family called me a mistake." He paused, then said, "They were wrong." Later that night, the ship flew quietly through the stars. The girl sat by the window, watching the stars. R'lyn came and sat beside her. "Do you have a name?" he asked. She shook her head. "They never gave me one." He thought for a moment. "Then we'll give you one." She looked at him confused. "We name things we care about," he said. She looked away quickly, but not before he saw a single tear fall. And as the ship continued through space, something inside her began to wake up. Something deep, strange, and powerful. She was not broken. She was becoming. Asterisk. The lights on the ship dimmed without warning. Then came the alarm. Red lights flashed. The crew ran through the halls. Weapons were raised. Fear filled the air. "She's doing something," shouted one of the guards. In the middle of the control room stood the alien girl. Her hands weren't moving. She didn't speak. But a soft blue glow surrounded her body. The same glow ran through the wires on the wall behind her. Step away from the systems. The pilot yelled. The girl didn't move. She stared at the screen in front of her, a screen showing the ship's power core. Lines of code flashed by, too fast for the humans to read. But she understood every line. Commander Rylan entered the room. His voice was calm but firm. "Everyone, lower your weapons." "No, sir. She's messing with the core." "She's saving it." The crew hesitated. Then the lights stopped blinking. The alarms went silent. The screens returned to normal. The girl took a deep breath and sat down on the floor like nothing had happened. "She fixed another system," the engineer whispered. "Again." "She didn't touch a thing," someone said. "She just looked." Rylan knelt beside her. "Are you okay?" She nodded slowly. "You're not in danger, but you scared the crew." "I didn't mean to," she said. The ship had a leak in the power grid. It was small, but it would have spread. Then, boom. She made a small explosion motion with her hands. No one laughed. Later, some crew members whispered about her. Others avoided her completely. She walked the halls quietly, always watching, always listening. When humans passed her, they looked away. Some even locked doors when she got close. She never complained. She just kept fixing things. One night, the engineer found her in the engine room, sitting on the floor with his broken tools spread out. "I was just curious," she said, eyes wide. "Sorry." He picked up one of the tools. "It worked better than before. Did you upgrade this?" She looked nervous. "I saw the flaws. I made it faster, lighter." He tested another one. "This is better than the standard model." She looked down. "I thought if I helped, they wouldn't be afraid." He didn't know what to say. But from that night on, he started leaving her puzzles to solve. Broken circuits, old chips. Every time she fixed them in new ways. Smarter ways. The crew still didn't trust her. Until the pirates came. A black ship dropped out of hyperspace without warning. No warning beacons, no message, just weapons hot. It was a pirate raider, fast and deadly. The humans rushed to their stations. Weapons charging, shields low. "We won't last long." In the middle of the panic, the girl stood in the hallway. Calm, still, watching the radar screen. "We should turn 14 degrees right," she said softly. "What?" "Their ship has a weak spot on the left. But they know you'll aim there, so they'll shield it extra. Their real weak spot is here." She pointed to a small corner on the screen. "How do you know that?" "I read their ship patterns. And their captain's past attacks. I just see it." Rylan stared at her. "Are you sure?" She nodded. He gave the order. The crew followed it, unsure. The human ship moved just in time. The pirate blast missed. The humans returned fire right at the spot she showed them. The enemy ship's shields cracked. In 5 minutes. The pirates were running. The crew was silent. They looked at her differently now. That night, Rylan sat with her in the common room. She still sat alone, knees to her chest, silent. "You saved us," he said. "I didn't want them to die." She whispered, "You didn't just help us. You outsmarted them." She looked at him with wide eyes. "Why do you care?" "Because you care," he said. She blinked. He smiled gently. "And because I've never seen a mind like yours. Not human. Not alien, just brilliant." For the first time, she smiled. It was small, soft, but it was real. And somewhere deep in the ship, a machine hummed quietly, a system she had touched. Improved. Changed. She was no longer just cargo. She was part of the crew now. Even if the rest of the galaxy still wanted her gone. Asterisk. The human engineer tossed his wrench across the table. It hit the wall with a loud clang. "This makes no sense," he muttered. She rewired the system in 10 minutes. It would have taken me a week. The alien girl was sitting in the corner, hugging her knees, watching quietly. She didn't look proud. She didn't smile. She just stared at the humming machine she had fixed. The room smelled like hot metal and tired humans. "She's not guessing," said the captain, watching her. "She understands things we don't." "No," the engineer said. "She doesn't just understand. She sees everything at once. Like a living supercomputer." In another room, hidden away, the girl sat in front of a hologram screen. The humans had given her a tablet to keep her busy. She had connected it to the ship's database in less than 5 minutes, without being shown how. She scrolled through star maps, language files, human history, and alien politics. Her eyes didn't blink. She wanted to know everything, because knowing kept her safe. Because in her old life, questions were forbidden. She remembered her father's cold voice. "You are not strong enough to rule. You feel too much. You are a mistake." She remembered the dark room they kept her in, the cold meals, the heavy silence. But here, on this ship, knowledge wasn't locked away. It was everywhere. And the more she learned, the more something inside her changed. The captain called her into the command room one day. She came in quietly, hands folded, eyes low. "We have a situation," he said. "The ship's auto-navigation is jammed. We're drifting near a gravity well." No one knew what caused it. The tech team was stuck. She asked for 10 minutes alone with the system. They gave her 5. She fixed it in 3. Not by repairing it, but by teaching it a new pattern. She rewrote the ship's AI code. The technician whispered, stunned. "That shouldn't even be possible," said another. The girl walked out of the room like nothing had happened. Later, one of the crew members left a chocolate bar on her desk. She stared at it for 5 minutes, then picked it up slowly. Took one small bite. Her eyes lit up. That night, she dreamed of stars, but not the stars of her home world. She dreamed of the ones she had never seen, human stars. Cold and beautiful. In the days that followed, the captain started giving her small jobs. She handled them like puzzles. Never spoke too much. Never asked for praise. But the crew began to notice something strange. The doors opened faster near her. The lights dimmed softer. The ship's voice even began to say her name, though no one had programmed it. One morning, the engineer walked into the lab and froze. The girl had redesigned the ship's coolant system. She was sitting in the middle of a web of wires, humming softly. He stood there, mouth open. This design is years ahead of our tech," he said. "Maybe decades." She looked up. It made more sense this way. "Where did you learn this?" "I didn't learn it. I saw it." The captain called a private meeting that night. The senior officers sat around a table. The girl waited outside. "She's more than just smart," said the science officer. "She's evolving. She's not a threat," the captain said firmly. "Maybe not. But she's not normal either. She sees through machines like glass." One of the officers whispered, "What if her people come back for her?" Everyone went quiet. Outside the room, the girl sat on the floor with her back to the wall. She wasn't listening through the door. She didn't need to. She already knew, but she didn't cry. She had cried enough. On her homeworld. Now she had something else. A new word she had learned in human language. Hope. It was small and soft and hidden, but it was alive. Asterisk. The stars vanished, one by one. They disappeared from the view screen. At first, the crew thought it was a glitch. Then the scanners lit up red. It wasn't darkness. It was a ship. No, hunter. Bigger than any vessel in human records. Black metal. Sharp wings, silent, deadly. The human crew froze. The girl stood near the window, staring. Her fingers tightened. She knew that ship. She had seen it in nightmares. "It's them," she whispered. "My people. They've come to finish what they started." The captain stepped forward. They sent a warship for one child? She didn't answer. A message came through. No sound. Just a symbol, red, broken, sharp like a blade. The girl's face turned pale. "It's my brother's mark," she said. "He's the crown prince now. What does he want? To erase me." On the screen, the message changed. This time, there were words translated by the ship. "Return the failed one, or be destroyed." Silence filled the room. The captain didn't flinch. "We don't give up people." "She's not people," said one officer quietly. "She's one of them." The girl heard every word, but her face stayed calm. She stepped forward. "I'll go." "No," the captain said. "They'll destroy your ship." "Let them try." She looked up at him, silver eyes glowing faintly. "You don't understand. He doesn't just want me dead. He wants me gone like I never existed." "Why?" "Because I was born wrong. I was born different." The crew prepared for battle, weapons charged, shields raised. But they all knew this was not a fight they could win. The girl walked to the center of the command room. "I can stop them," she said. "How?" "Ask the captain. I designed their code," she said quietly. "When I was very small, I used to draw shapes, patterns. I didn't know they were building warships from my sketches." Everyone stared. "You helped design their systems?" "I was too young to understand, but I remember. I can still feel it." She placed her hand on the ship's interface panel. Her skin glowed faintly. Her mind entered the signal. Outside, the alien warship slowed. Its weapons stopped moving, then shut down completely. The humans gasped. "You hacked it," the pilot said. "No," she replied. "I rewrote it." Inside the alien warship, alarms blared. Her brother's voice rang out, cold and furious. "How dare you touch my code?" She sent one message back. "I'm not broken. You are." The alien ship fired one final shot before vanishing into hyperspace. The blast missed. The human ship remained untouched. Later that night, the crew sat in stunned silence. "She scared off a prince," someone whispered. "She disabled a warship with her mind. No child should have that kind of power." But one voice said quietly, "Maybe that's why her family feared her." The girl stood alone in the hallway, looking out at the stars. She did not cry. She did not smile. She just whispered to herself, "I don't want to hurt anyone, but I won't run anymore." She was tired of running, tired of hiding. She had survived her own people, and now she was something more, something even her creators didn't understand. Not a weapon, not a tool. A mind they couldn't control anymore. She stood in front of the mirror, silent. Her reflection didn't look real. Pale blue skin, silver eyes, thin arms. A body that always felt small. Wrong, but tonight something was different. There was light, faint, soft, moving under her skin like flowing stars. It danced beneath her veins like her blood had become stardust. She touched her chest. It was warm, alive. "Am I becoming something else?" she whispered. The ship's bathroom was quiet. Too quiet. Behind her, the lights flickered, then stayed off. She didn't move. Didn't panic. Because deep inside, she already knew. Something inside her had awakened. It had been asleep for years. Maybe her whole life. Locked up by fear, by chains, by silence. But now it was stirring. And it wasn't angry. It was curious. That night, the ship passed near a dying star. Radiation levels rose. The crew put on protective suits, but the girl walked through the control room without gear. The sensors beeped wildly. "She's absorbing it," the science officer said. Like she's feeding off the radiation." "No," the captain said, watching her. "She's learning from it." The girl sat by the window, eyes closed, body glowing faintly. The light moved like waves across her arms. "I can feel the star," she whispered. "It's sad." Everyone froze. "You feel the star?" The engineer asked. She nodded. It knows it's dying. The crew looked at each other. This wasn't science anymore. This was something else. Something no species had seen before. In the lab, she began to build. Not machines, not weapons. She built shapes from energy. Patterns that hovered in the air like living light. She didn't know why. Her hands just moved, and the shapes appeared. What are these? The captain asked. I don't know, she said. But I think they're memories, not mine. Something older. Her mind was expanding faster than anyone could track. Languages came to her without effort. Music she had never heard felt familiar. Numbers danced like songs. One night, she collapsed in the hallway. Her body shook. Sparks of light floated around her. The medical team rushed in, but all systems failed around her. Lights burst. Monitors cracked. Then she opened her eyes, and everything stopped. She stood up slowly, like nothing had happened. I'm fine, she said softly. But she wasn't fine. She was changing. The captain took her aside. Are you scared? Yes, she said, but not of me. Then what? I'm scared of what I might become if I forget who I am. You're not a weapon. She looked at him, eyes full of stars. But I was made by people who wanted one. Later, the scientists gathered in secret. She's not just evolving, one whispered. She's becoming something new. She could be dangerous. She could also save us. The debate ended when a distress signal reached the ship. A human colony was under attack. No time to wait. No time to call for help. Everyone prepared for battle. But the girl stepped forward. Let me go first. You're not a soldier, someone said. I don't need to fight, she replied. I can stop them another way. She flew toward the enemy ships in a small pod alone. No weapons, no armor. Just light glowing in her hands. As the crew watched from the ship, they saw the enemy ships halt mid-flight. Their systems went dark. One by one, they shut down. Then, silence. She floated back to the ship, calm, quiet, eyes glowing. I asked them to stop, she said. And they listened? I showed them what I could do if I didn't ask. That night, no one slept. The captain stood by her as she watched the stars. You're not what they said you were. She looked up at him. Then what am I? He thought for a long time before answering. Maybe. You're the future. And far beyond the stars, deep in the alien empire, her brother watched a glowing screen, her face on it. He crushed the glass in his hand. She must not live. But it was already too late. She wasn't just living. She was becoming something the galaxy had never seen. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk. The door closed behind her with a soft hiss. She stood alone in the hallway. But she had heard everything. She's too dangerous. One councilman had said, she's not human, another had added. We can't trust her. She saved hundreds of lives, the captain had argued. Yes, the voice replied coldly, and next time she might not. They were deciding her future behind a locked door. Again, just like her own people did. She walked away without a word. Past the curious stares. Past the crew who now didn't know whether to salute her or fear her. Outside the ship, Earth floated in space blue, bright, alive. But the message sent from Earth's leaders was clear. Send her away. Isolate her. If she resists, take action. They didn't say the word, but she knew it. Exile. The girl stood on the viewing deck, eyes locked on the stars. She didn't cry. She had run out of tears years ago. She remembered the first time she saw a human smile. The first time someone said her name, one she chose for herself. The first time someone gave her food without expecting anything in return. She remembered warmth. And now it was being taken away. Again. The captain found her there, quiet as always. They're afraid, he said. I know, she replied. They want me to give you up. Or they'll cut ties with my ship. You should. He looked at her. Why? Because I don't belong here. I never did. He said nothing for a while. Then he asked, "What do you want?" She looked at her hands. Light still moved beneath her skin, soft and slow. "I don't want to hide," she said. "I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to live." Then she looked at him, eyes glowing faintly. "But I won't be locked away again." He nodded. "Then you won't be." That night, she left the ship, not in chains, not in silence, but by choice. The crew watched as her small shuttle launched into the stars. No weapons, no escort, just her, and the stars waiting. Where will she go? Someone asked. The captain looked out the window. Anywhere she wants. But the story didn't end there. Far away, another signal reached them. A rogue fleet was attacking a colony, no help nearby. No time left. The humans prepared to fight, and then the sky opened. The girl returned alone. Changed. Wings of light shimmered around her body like folded energy. She wasn't a weapon. She wasn't a girl. She was something in between. She flew into the center of the enemy fleet. She didn't fire a single shot. She just sent out a pulse of energy, soft, wide, silent. The enemy ships powered down. Their weapons melted. Their engines froze. And then they turned around and left. No one died. Not one life was lost. The humans stood in silence. Voice came through the radio. Soft, calm, hers. "I didn't fight them. I gave them a choice. The same one I never had." Back on Earth, the leaders said nothing. They didn't need to. The galaxy had just seen her power. And her mercy. The girl stood above a field of stars, alone again. But this time, the choice had been hers. And the stars no longer felt cold. Every screen in the galaxy lit up at once. Stations, ships, colonies, even deep space probes. A face appeared. Not a king. Not a soldier. A girl, blue-skinned, silver-eyed, calm, still. The message played. Everywhere silent at first. Then her voice spoke, soft but clear. "They said I was broken. They called me weak, but I'm still here." On a faraway throne, her father watched the broadcast. He didn't blink. His fists were clenched, shaking with anger. Beside him, her brother stood still, expression cold. The Council of Nobles whispered in fear. She wasn't supposed to speak. She wasn't supposed to exist. But now the galaxy listened. Her message was not a warning. It was a choice. "You can erase my name, but not what I've become. You can silence my voice, but not the hope I carry. I am not a weapon. I am not your shame. I am free." The image cut off. And for a few seconds, the galaxy held its breath. On the human ship, the crew watched in silence. No one spoke. No one moved. She told the truth. The captain said at last. And they can't hide it anymore. But the truth was more than words. Across colonies and systems, people, human and alien, started to ask questions. Who else had been thrown away? How many others were called broken? Just because they were different. She had become more than a survivor. She had become a symbol. They didn't build statues of her. They didn't write songs. But messages appeared, hidden in code and scattered across space. She lives. She chose peace. She chose us. Her brother tried to send hunters again. Silent assassins. War machines, none of them returned. Not because she destroyed them, but because she changed them. She touched their systems, their code, their minds, and gave them something her world never gave her. A choice. The captain met her again on a moon. Quiet and empty. She wore no armor, no crown. Just a simple cloak and a smile. "Is it over?" he asked. She shook her head. "No, it's just beginning." He looked at her, tired but proud. "You changed everything." She looked at the stars. "No," she said. "You did. I only gave you a chance." She smiled softly. "And I gave it back." Above them, lights moved in the sky, ships no longer marked by flags or empires. Ships that followed no one, except her. She didn't lead them with power. She led them with truth. And the galaxy, began to change. Slowly, quietly, not with war, but with one voice. A voice that once trembled in fear, now calm, now steady, now chosen.